Offense with so many weapons. How do you slow
They
them
have
down?
a lot of weapons. They have a lot of explosive players, and what you got to do is be disciplined, play the right edge, do your assignment, and this defense really has to play as a collective group. You have to be disciplined, do what you're supposed to do, and we have to tackle. They have 3 great running backs, and 3 and 4 and 24, and they're going to try to pound you. We got to swarm to the football. We got to go out there and just play great defense.
What do you do against a guy like Aaron Murray?
Aaron's done a great job. He's delivering the ball very, very well. You got to try to disguise coverages. You got to try to mix things up on him, make him guess, make him, give him something he thinks he's seeing, but he really isn't. And he's a very good student of the game. He's a darn good football player.
What have you seen on tape that makes the running game so good? And Gurley's averaging over 9 yards a carry.
He's just a very good running back, and they're running 2-back runs, and he breaks tackle. He reminds me a lot of Trent Richardson as far as his lower body strength, and he takes the ball north and south when most people want to go east and west.
Sal, how important is it that you guys get McCullers involved?
Well, I think like anything else, this is more of McCullers' games. Last week McCullers wasn't involved in the pitchers much because it was all spread, throwing it out, dinking and dunking you. Now, they're going to get in what we call 21 personnel, and they're going to try to see if we can stop their run, so we'll see what happens.
How much, I know you weren't here last year, but the depth that you guys have been able to build up front, how important is that?
I think it's real important. I think when you go into a game like this, it's going to be a very physical football game. You can't just go and have everybody be playing 60 and 70 plays. I think so keeping guys fresh, running people in and out is important.
I know that when McCullers doesn't play very much at all like he did last week, and you guys have been trying to get him for 25 or 30 snaps, when he's coming off a game where he didn't play, is there a chance to get more out of him? Do you guys ask him?
No, it's like anything else. He practiced all week last week. He just didn't get in the game as much. But, this is going to be a game for him. It's a big physical matchup, and we'll see how we do.
Coach, I think Georgia leads the country in giving big plays over 20 yards. What do they do well to have so many explosive plays?
I think what they do is they make you miss. Whether you're going to tackling, they make you miss, and the next thing you know, guys explode. If they catch a ball, they make you miss, and then it's yards after the catch, it's yards after the first hit. That's why you got to get more than just one person there. We're not trying to just get one guy one-on-one. And that because they have some good athletes.
And after you guys gave up a couple the first couple games, only gave up 2 over 20 yards the last play. Do you feel like you guys are coming into your own to make
I think like anything else, our kids are understanding where they're supposed to be and their responsibility, and we don't like to give up any explosive plays. I think last week we had 4 explosives. We had 2 runs. We had one of this course to 70 and one of 17, and then we had some passes. So, you try to minimize that as much as you can, and, that's going to be important this week.
How's Willie Bohannon?
Willie's doing really good. And as a matter of fact, Willie Bo has gone out there and he's done a good job for us. And, he's had a great week of practice to date. And so I'm excited about him. And I think the kids are up for the challenge. They know that this team's they're ranked number 5th in the country. And they know they're a good offense. And they know they're explosive. And they're going to go out there and they're going to do the best they can.
Georgia seems like they use a lot of play action. Is that put more pressure on the linebackers?
Oh, absolutely. They put a lot of pressure on the linebackers, and that's where you're getting a lot of your explosive plays that he touched on a little bit ago. Linebackers get sucked up, and then the next thing you know, they're running their skinny routes right over top of them. So, they have a nice scheme. Martins and Todd and all of them have done a nice job down there getting things right, and they got some good football players, and we just got to go match up.
That's how AJ always seems to be around the ball, and just those instincts. Is that something you just can't coach?
Well, I think I had something to do with it. You know what I mean? I think like anything else. But some players are right. You're right. Have a natural ability to know where the ball's going and be in there. And he's made a lot of plays for us in the first 4 games here. And I'm hoping he keeps on making it. My thing with AJ is I want him to get better and better every single week. And whether it's declaring the fronts, making sure people in the right gaps, making sure, I want him to be a student of the game, And when you have a middle linebacker that understands it and knows it, it's going to prosper for him down the road because when you go to the National Football League, it's just putting yourself in position to make plays.
Byron Moore's also made some plays. You like what you're getting out of him?
Yeah. I really enjoy what Byron came up and did a nice role last week, took Randolph's place, and, he made plays. So, I think he was our most productive player last week, and, he was our player of the game, and that was a heck of a role after stepping, in for Randolph.
So what impresses you most about Georgia's offense?
Their ability to run the ball. I mean, you know, when you can run the ball, you're taking time off the clock, and then, you know, they're scoring. They're breaking tackles. They're hitting big plays, and, you know, they have a great mixture. Their play-action pass complements the running game. So, you know, it's tough. So it's going to be a nice challenge for us.
Is this the most balanced offense?
I'd say so.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I think they're really balanced. I think they have a good set of wide receivers. I think they have a great staple of backs. So, you know, they have a combination where if they want to spread you out, they can spread you out and still dink and dunk you. And then they also have that back there who's even single back has enough power to run you over.
They've also got a quarterback that's pretty mobile. You have to be mindful of that, don't you?
Aaron's done a great job. You know, he makes plays with his feet. He makes plays with his arm. He makes plays with his head. So, you know, he's probably the best quarterback we've played to today.
Could you talk about his improvement through the years? I know you've seen him before.
You know what? I haven't really played against him before because we didn't have him the last 3 years at Alabama. But you can just see, you know, he's growing up. He's a guy that's been in the system, knows what they like to do, and he manages their football team, and he doesn't put them in bad situations.
First true road game, Sal. Do you learn something about
I don't believe that. I believe this is our second road game in my eyes, because, you know, we went to Atlanta. You still had to travel. You still had to sleep in a hotel and all that. And to me, you know, it's like anything else. So we've already experienced that when we went down into Georgia and we beat NC State. And now we got to go down into Athens and we got to play Georgia and we got to play good, solid football.
Do you think the familiarity of being down in Atlanta, staying in the same hotel?
I think like anything else, you know, when you made the trips and you're on the road and, you know, you've done it, you know what to expect. You know it's going to be a very hostile environment. And, you know, we got to go in there and we know that there's going to be 70-plus people going to the game and it's going to be us 70 playing against the state of Georgia.
So what separates Georgia from a lot of other teams with the play action stuff? They seem to be in what they do. They seem to be as
because they got good running backs. You got to honor the run. I mean, I think when you see them and you see their running backs and what they're doing, is that you got to honor the run, and that's holding it, and it's causing separation between your secondary and your linebackers. So you have a second level that's getting sucked up. The third level's back there. There's a lot of space for him to make good throws.
I know that every kind of game stands on its own, but it seems like Georgia, when you have that much balance on offense, it just makes it that much more difficult from your side of the ball. Is this, when a team has that much balance, how much?
I think like anything else, every single week, I mean, there's a challenge for you. You know, last week against Akron, you know, they had a balance of spreading you out, throwing it, thinking, next thing you know, they had that little back hit or run and all that. I mean, these offenses that we're facing right now, the multiplicity of what you're getting against them, it's hard for these kids, you know what I'm saying? It's a lot easier, you know, when people are staying in two-back sets or things, but now they can go two backs to create a one-back to create an empty. So the kids have to be able to adjust and manage it and on the run. And, you know, last week I thought we did a decent job at it. I mean, each week what we're trying to do in this program is to get better every week. And that's what we're looking for, the standard. And going up there, and they present a heck of a challenge. I mean, you know, they're running the football, they're throwing the ball. I mean, we got to create plays. We got to create long yardage situations and see what we can do.
Two more guys.
The receivers don't seem to get a lot of credit, at least from the media side of things. I know y'all don't give a hoot about that, but it seems like those guys are pretty polished, all-around kind of players.
No, they're good players, man. You know, that's why, I mean, they're making plays 12, 82. I mean, all those guys, they're all making good plays and all that. That 82, I can't remember his name off the top of my head, but he runs great routes. You know, the quarterback likes to go to him, and then in the longer yardage, you're going to see 12 running down the seam, and they're going to try to hit him in the seam. 15's making plays for him. So, you know, they got good balance. 88's a good tight end. He's going to fight you, he'll dink and dunk you, and then he'll I mean, they're a good football team. You know, they're a good football team.
When you break down the your film, do you find that you're better in zone coverage or man coverage, or is there any difference in your pass coverage, whether it's man or zone?
I think when you break down the tape and you watch it, it's when we execute the coverage is what we're best in. You know, whether you're playing zone or you're man matching it, zone man matching it. And, you know, in our man stuff, we're doing some good things. But, you know, people didn't think we'd have, how many interceptions we have right now? Seven in 4 games. So I was pleased with that. So we created some turnovers last week, and the kids are playing well. And we just got to keep on doing what we're doing. Each week we are getting better. So hopefully we get better this week.